That's not necessarily a good thing to say.
I'm not going to say anything.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, tables and chairs. It is us. It is I. It's all three of us. In fact, I need to put the bloody thing on. Let's just check I've got the fucking camera on the right thing. Oh, I have, yeah. Happy Christmas.
It's a level of professionalism you won't find anywhere else, isn't it? Honestly, it really is.
That's it. We're live. The three amigos, the men they tried to hang. We are back. We're back discussing how many swear words we can put into a single clip, and will we outdo the Hotspur hippie who is inventing new swear words from down under? Breaking news, Ange Postecoglou has still yet to win a game for Nottingham Forest, and he's now, not only did he break records at Tottenham Hotspur, making us the club that managed to not get relegated despite having lost 22 games, which was a new record for not just the club, but it was a record for the Premier League since the inception of that division. He's now broken another new record at Nottingham Forest for achieving absolutely all in his opening 5 games. How are we, boys?
What you forgot to say, H, is that Ange Postecoglou has become the first permanent Nottingham Forest manager in 79 years not to win any of his first 5 matches in charge.
Forgive me for not mentioning it was 79 years of insanity he's managed to upturn.
If you read any of the official tweets put out by Nottingham Forest, the usual result after the game with the club badge, the comments in there from the Nottingham Forest fan base was what we were all thinking and feeling for about 18 months of his tenure.
There is a suicide wish around that bloke, and all I can say, and I know it's funny to shout out disparaging words and language, but he didn't get it. After all his time at Spurs, he didn't understand that everything that he didn't understand. And so when he got offered another job, anybody with a scrap of common sense would have said, hey, I'm not going to be able to do that again. Definitely not with a lesser squad. And that's what he did. He took the job. And he's now confused. I think he's genuinely confused as he's staring at the floor and mumbling into his socks as to why it's all gone horribly wrong.
Hey, you seem to be
a bit like...
Say that again.
Seem to be repeating on me. I'm not sure if you've got an echo in the background, but I can almost hear double.
This is fucking...
No, I can hear him fine. It's nothing from my end, mate.
Oh, hang on. Your sound is always shocking. I forgot you're living in a prefab in Bedfordshire. I mean, look, everything sounds like that.
Yeah, don't not lose.
Sounds like that.
Obviously, the
Wi-Fi.
Obviously, the Wi-Fi in the Fritzl basement isn't working properly today.
Well, maybe one of his children rolled over and the tinfoil hat rubbed against the handcuffs. Who knows?
3 minutes in, H. 3 minutes in. Come on, let's get it on. Let's get it on.
Fritzl time, Fritzl time, Fritzl time, Fritzl time, Fritzl time. It's Fritzl time again. Welcome to another edition of Who Killed My Mother, starring Tony V, a human being.
Well, allegedly. I should put allegedly a human being.
Allegedly. Can I just say, I don't know what your barber's doing these days, but that looks fantastic, Tony. You really look. You've captured elegance.
Mate, jealousy is such an ugly emotion. It really is.
I read that somewhere this morning. I can't remember where.
I know. I wonder where that came from. Oh, you're talking about not knowing what you're doing. I think we can segue that nicely into our performance on Saturday night, can't we?
Yeah. I've got to say, I'll tell you what I can say. The new manager bounce is well and truly over. At least Ange got 10 games out of them. What are we saying, chaps? What are we saying? What do you feel about it, Chris?
Okay, I will give you an overview, pause and come back at me after it's concluded. But we always knew that we were going to have the occasional blip. And this is one of those. The starting 11 didn't make a lot of sense to me in respect of Vicario. You'd rather Mussolini in goal than him. He can't control his penalty area, can't catch a ball. Some of his attempts to play out from the back with his feet during the game are absolutely shambolic. Anybody with anything about them would replace him immediately, as he's instantly replaceable. You looked at the back four, it didn't work, dropping Porro for Spence for me, you miss the attacking runs of Porro, you miss the balls into the box. And over recent weeks, Spence has started to wind me up as he's done this ridiculous thing where he posts the penitentiary on his Instagram, and it's where he plucks out an opposition winger that he's had in his back pocket for 90 minutes, and he puts a post out, "Welcome to the penitentiary. Grow up, mate, you're a professional footballer." Yeah, you can do that at the end of the season, but not 6 games in. And then this is where I think Thomas really got it wrong, was in midfield. You're at home, so why do you need Bentancur alongside Palhinha? Bentancur is everything that is safe. Never wants to run forward, never wants to play first-time balls very quickly, and that hampered us. And then on the right side, Kudus was the only attacking threat we had. On the left side, you've got shit. It's a choice between who is the shittest of the shit. And you've got Tell, you've got Odebear, you've got Brennan Johnson. So you've got square pegs for round holes. And then moving forward, Richarlison, he's terrible. He's the worst centre forward I've ever seen at Tottenham. Worst use of 65 million. You might as well play with 10 men because he can't rough it up against imposing centre halves, loses the ball, and I'm surprised he doesn't suffer a broken vagina throughout the game. He goes down more often than not. So yes, Thomas Frank needed to answer some questions about the tactics and the people he deployed, but we're still massively exposed for the centre forward on the left-sided position. But it's not a concern. But we've had 2 really poor back-to-back home games now against Bournemouth and Wolverhampton Wanderers. We don't seem to have learnt from them. And what we're not doing is making the stadium a cauldron of hate and a cauldron of noise. It's too easy for opposition teams to come and play there and get points from us. So am I worried? No. I expect this sort of thing to happen, but he's got to change, and he's got to see where it's not quite going right.
That was fantastic. Tremendous. I'll give you a 4.5 out of 10 because that comes from the heart. You can't buy generosity like that in the shops. I'll tell you where I am with that game, and I think football is a very simple game. Who's clicking a pen? I will not have pen clicking going on. Tony, it's clearly you. Stop it immediately.
Me? What?
You will be deported to Australia to go and sit and hold hands with Hotspur hippie.
He's filling out.
What is that?
I'm doing nothing. I've turned it off now. I'm just getting notifications because apart from people.
Why would you want that noise? I'd rather not know. I'd rather die of ignorance.
Mate, some of us actually have to work for a living, not scout around Birmingham doing crappy videos for a living. Come on.
Look, it's not really a living. If you saw how much was going into the bank, you'd realise how impoverished the whole facade is. No, listen, the deal I wanted to say about Wolves, and I can't express things as articulately as our man in Havana over there, but the deal is the passing accuracy of that team was appalling. The defensive characters, the clowns, with the exception of Mickey van der Ven, who came in with his usual 96, 97%, everybody else was 60, 70, 30, 40. It was appalling. Really, really bad. Curiously enough, Xavi Simons was pretty good, but he didn't do anything. So, work that one out. They're in Spurs shirts. They live and cheek by jowl with each other in Hotspur Way. Yet they go on to play a football match against Wolverhampton Wanderers in orange, and it all goes wrong. If you can't pass the bloody ball, we're not even talking about exceptional defence-splitting passes here. We're talking about just basic coherency. And until Frank gets a grip on that, he's not going to get anywhere. I'm not having it in for Frank, but passing, this is not a very interesting subject. I understand it, but you've got to do it right. If you can't do it right, you've got a massive problem, and that's why we nearly lost that game.
Yeah, for me, this is a classic example. This is perhaps I might be looking too much into this, but for me, you've got an intelligent coach who really wants to play a certain style of football and is trying to imbue that into the people. And I think he's slowly, hopefully, realizing he just doesn't have the people that he needs to actually play the game he wants to play. Because Xavi Simons was making some good moves and good runs, but he ended up going perpendicular to the box so many times I lost count because nobody would make the bloody moves that he wanted them to make because he was creating spaces for people. Nobody was moving into the bloody space.
Correct.
So Xavi is well above a lot of the players, especially like Richarlison, who just basically a dead fart would be much more useful.
Richarlison is retarded. Richarlison is retarded, and the sooner more Spurs fans stand on a chair and shout that out their living room windows, the better. Be free, be at one with the world, and call it as it is. He isn't any fucking good at playing football. He's never been an exceptional striker. He's had odd little flourishes where he's delivered 12, 15 goals a season. He'll never be any better. And it's another Daniel Levy special. 60 million quid spread over the lifetime of a colour television. I mean, the guy's just a waste of fucking space.
Richarlison, as of Saturday evening, 99 appearances for Tottenham, 23 goals. That tells you everything.
Horror.
Yeah. Highest goal scoring season for him during his whole career, 15 goals in 41 appearances for Everton. Even when he was at Watford, his Watford stats, 38 league games, 5 goals. He's a man who's never been an out-and-out centre forward. And what he is a liability. And you've got the happy clappers in the fan base who sing that, Brazil's number 9 and all this and get all giddy. You need to wake up and remind yourselves of what a decent centre forward looks like. Think about Jurgen Klinsmann's, your Teddy Sheringham's, your Dimitar Berbatov's, your Robbie Keane's, your Jermaine Defoe's. Even your Roman Pavlyuchenko, who's a good centre forward.
Roman Pavlyuchenko was a great centre forward who got dog's abuse, and I don't understand why. I'm not even bothering to put it up for conversation, for debate. But this guy is an absolute nitwit.
Well, he's useless, isn't he? We might as well play with 10 men, and that's where we've set ourselves up to fail. Solanke, I'm hearing, could be out for up to 3 months. The ankle injury is not getting any better, forced him off the training pitch during the week.
It's just a knock, mate.
Yeah, but what options have we got? This Randall Kunin Moani came in clearly unfit, hadn't had a pre-season, and
no. Sorry, this is specious at best. He had a dead leg about a week ago. What's wrong with you?
Oh, sorry,
that's very serious. They have built a special dead leg ward at the local hospital for him. I used to get a dead leg when you're waiting to get your dinner at school. Somebody just come up and knee you, and you'd be crippled on the floor. Half an hour later, you were line dancing again.
Life in Borstalls was quite tough, wasn't it? I remember watching.
Where's your tool? Where's your tool? What tool? Yeah. This fucking tool.
Shut up, you slag.
Back to the potting shed, can.
I get a dead leg watching Richarlison. Honestly, and that's because he just pisses me off so much.
That's called an erection, you weirdo. I'm just going to put a t-shirt on, talk about yourself.
Do you know what I found absolutely shocking on Sunday morning was to read all these happy clappers saying what a contribution and what a cameo Mathis Tell had. What, he dragged the ball back on the edge of the penalty box for Sarr to lay it back to Palhinha to absolutely put a great finish in the back of the net. What did he do other than that? He looks like a man who has no idea what his purpose is in life.
Well, I mean, he played against Doncaster,
and
he looked no better than any Doncaster player.
Yeah.
So, as far as I'm concerned, you spend 40, 35, whatever it was, 35 plus the loan fee, so about 40 million. People are saying this is what really pisses me off, and HRNO, you'll get this as well. But
no.
That phase, Mr. Gumby.
Come in. Not now, Madeline.
There's you bastards. They're also playing.
If your bucket's full, move it away from you.
Oh well, the show that has no taste just went several depths lower.
down, deeper and down.
On Facebook, people are going on about Tell and going, he's still a young lad. He needs to develop. If you're spending 45, 50 million on someone, they better be fucking oven ready right now.
Correct.
That is the end of the story. There is no other debate to be had on that. I don't want to hear this young player. You've got the likes, and I keep referring to these people because it's true. You've got like people from Arsenal, like Nwaneri and Dalman, etc. They're young, but they're playing right now, and they're playing well right now. So let's drop this crap about he's still got to grow into it. He's still
drop this crap, man. Just drop it.
It's all fucking shit. It really is.
Unfortunately, we're living with the aftermath of Daniel Levy, and we heard what Daniel Levy's preferred choice was. Let's go for two £15 million players and hope that one of them comes good and we can generate a profit. And that's when you buy in the centre aisle at Audi. You then live with that, and you look on the left side. People are like, "Oh, Odeberry, he's a really good prospect." He's go, "No, he isn't. I've watched him enough to see that he's champion level at best."
What he is a piece of fucking roadkill, and I'm not interested in what he was able to do before the car hit him.
Yeah, and we brought Johnson on at the weekend. Did he actually touch the ball? I've never seen somebody as visible.
This is to people who are very precious about the use of language. So I'm referring to the little creatures that flutter around and fly at the bottom of your garden. Okay, nothing else. That's in your head. He's a fairy. That's what Brennan Johnson is. He's a fairy. He should be at the bottom of your garden, dancing on the little mushrooms and sprinkling glitter around. He's a fairy.
That's where Thomas has got to sort it out, because Xavi Simons is a number 10, and the more you play him on the left, the bigger it affects the team. And do you know what else I didn't like on Saturday? I think
what didn't you like on Saturday, Chris?
Lots, including your live stream, but that's another thing. But what I think the team is much better when you've got the energy of Pape Matar Sarr alongside Palhinha. So why doesn't three be Palhinha, Pape Matar Sarr, and Bergvall? Because they've all got qualities. I do not get the hype around Bentancur. He doesn't do anything exceptional for me, and he doesn't move the needle, and he doesn't get me out the chair. And I don't know, it's just very cool. When you're playing away from home and you're not going to have a lot of the ball and you want to break on the counter, Bentancur and Palhinha make sense. But when you're at home against a team who've played 6-1 non or got a single point on the table, that was real negative from my perspective.
I think Bentancur has flattered to deceive for a long time. What is that? Are you now counting people? Are you doing like a bus conductor? Sorry, I'm
doing research to actually contribute towards this erstwhile endeavour, you knob.
I'm sorry, but this is like I'm trying to listen to Chris, who's speaking eloquently, and it's like I'm in the savannah and the crickets have come out.
It's like watching a Spectrum brother, isn't it? Honestly, just knock it off, will you?
Hey,
that's what I've asked you to do, and you put your pen down or your cricket noise, and you found something else to click.
Oh, I'm so terribly sorry about the fact that I actually am endeavouring to be well informed and be able to contribute to something. It's just spouting loads of racist bollocks every 5 minutes.
Belated happy birthdays as well, H. Pleased to see that you share your birthday with another well-loved member of the Spurs community.
Yeah, exactly. But the only difference is one of us has had sex with a girl. And it isn't fucking him.
But previous comment applies, you know.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to nip down to the shops when we finish this and buy you some castanets.
I thought he was going to say more lube.
More lube. More Rioja. Table 4.
What type of lube was it? Rioja or the other stuff? But
WD-40, I think.
Yeah. Looking at the thing is, though, I know I'm not one of these great lovers of looking at match stats and whatever, but I think things like passing accuracy is actually important. But you get all this other thing like XG and all this bollocks. I mean, I don't believe in it. But when you actually look at the stats for the game, there's not a lot between the two. You'd say
statistically it was very level. Shots, possession, all that. You were looking at two wolves.
Yeah, basically,
which is two different wolves, not a pair of wolves, but two versions of wolves.
But if you look at that, those, this is whether you know the truth about stats. You know, lies, damn lies, and statistics. You look at that and you say there was nothing between them, but it was so obvious who was the better team on the night. It was so obvious. They had a game plan and they almost executed it almost perfectly. And I had to have whilst it was great to see Palhinha score, and a quality goal it was too, he took it absolutely brilliantly. I did feel for Pereira after the game when you could see him sort of standing there just shaking his head, thinking, "How the fuck did we lose that?"
I texted and said I thought we were fortunate, and I felt that Wolves pretty unlucky because they were more manly throughout. They were better set up. They've become a bit of an Achilles heel for us, and we've struggled against them over recent years. But we also struggled to lift ourselves for late kickoffs, and you think nothing's really changed. I was reading one of the well-known former pros on Sunday morning. Name slips me, but he was quite critical of Romero, saying,
"That wasn't me. That wasn't me."
Who's got a motorbike in their bedroom? Come on.
The secret's out. Evil Knievel's currently
Evil Knievel making a guest appearance from the grave there, folks. Fucking hell.
Proof that he's not in a basement.
Watching this, hoping to hear something about football. We've just got 3 neurotic old men shouting at each other.
Do not include me in that old phrase, please.
I hate to break it to you, mate, but that must have been one hell of a paper round. If you're claiming to be the youth of the operation.
I'm the youngest in the room by a long way.
Yeah. I'll tell everybody what was on the front of your sweatshirt you took off before the show if you're not careful.
I won't believe you.
Go on, do tell.
He said, I walked the dog and I put my cousin's hoodie on and realised I was getting some funny looks. He goes like that.
That's it. Zip.
And it says, Little Miss Sunshine. The Mr. Man cartoon. Here we go.
Actually, it said Little Miss Possessive or something. I thought
Little Miss Sausage Jockey.
Yeah. You're actually trying to correct him. Like you think that's even better. Like that's actually better than what he actually said.
Yeah. Moral of the story: double check before heading out on morning dog walk.
So you need to have a real one like that. You see, that's there you go.
And his pronouns are was and were.
Yes, these pronouns are sexual and Tyrannosaurus
and predator.
Who are Mrs.
But next time you'll hear Miss Piggy say.
So yeah. Well, hold on. I'm not entirely sure that wearing a Little Miss Possessive and claiming to be a predator is probably not a very good combination.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to speak
I said
the messaging department.
I said I can't wear this, so this is a gaff to come off. And he did the honourable thing and thought it was worth a mention during the chat. Nice of you, H.
Mate, it's the reason I've got CCTV located in your bathroom. I mean, it's all about getting the jokes in.
To be fair, Chris. If you're going to give him that, window of opportunity, he's going to jump through it like a cat burglar, isn't he? I
saw a window of opportunity and I leapt out of it. Rather daily for that one. Indeed, but no, the passing, the basics weren't there, and beyond that, if we look at the more complicated stuff like the tactics or the tic-tacs, how is it that Wolves changed their formation at half time?
Went 5 at the back, and it's completely Rodgers, didn't it? Yeah.
And he didn't adapt.
Well,
I mean, this is a guy, and I've been banging on for years. And he himself has said, and other people have said of him, that most coaches have a formula. They have a strategy that works. So you get at one extreme, you get, say, Jose Mourinho, and at the other, you get Ange Postecoglou. And then you got this absolute curveball of Thomas Frank, who'll play 3 at the back against one lot, and then next week he'll play 5 at the front, or whatever it is. And he didn't do anything. It was like he'd lost the ability to talk. I just don't understand how that passed him by.
He probably was sitting. He was probably standing there at the ground, thinking exactly the thing everybody was watching at home and in the terraces. What the fuck am I looking at? Why are these muppets actually? What are they doing? This is not what we coached them to do.
Well, exactly, because you don't coach players to be able to pass the ball accurately to each other. That's the inherent, comes with the car. It's as fitted. It's like when you get a Volvo, you get all this really cool safety stuff. It's a feature that comes with the car. It's only when you then want to pick the enhanced options, you can go for the sunroof and go for the this, that, and the other. And these players don't appear to come fitted with a lot of the basic things you'd expect for a guy who costs 40 million quid or more. Mm-hmm. And the point you made about Tell, he just isn't bloody good enough.
It's very difficult to attack when you don't have a striker worth his weight in shits.
He's worth his weight in polystyrene chips. I mean, the guy's an absolute waste of space. He has no English. I think that I'm going to say it because we heard this in the news recently, and people were saying it's now racist. It's racist to expect people who come here, and we're talking about families. We're not talking about one individual who knows how to, is a good stonemason, or he's a good builder, or he's a good fucking mechanic, or whatever. He doesn't have any English. It doesn't really matter because he just does the one job. He's like an assassin. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's got his gun. He's got his bullets. We've got players. I mean, Romero is another one. They don't have any bloody English, and I think it's a thing. And now you're supposedly racist for wanting people to integrate in the countries they go to. It's not racist. It's just common sense. If you walk into a Chinese shop, if you walk into a Chinese supermarket, or you walk into a Polish shop, whatever, you can ask for a sample of the meat. You ask them for different crisps. Blah blah. The world goes around because people can communicate. They might not be fluent, but Richarlison doesn't do any press because he's too fucking thick, and Romero has to have a translator.
Romero doesn't good enough. Speak perfectly good English just when it suits him.
Yeah. And also the thing is, as well, all the things you just said, fair and right. You can communicate in lots of different ways, but as a professional football player, it is absolutely essential that you are able to communicate with your teammates. Absolutely essential. And if you can't communicate in a clear enough fashion, the message isn't going to get across, the changes you want to integrate or the things you want them to do. Again, going back, a few years ago, but the likes of John Terry and what have you used to be shouting the shit at people, pointing here, there, and everywhere, absolutely screaming at people to get into their organisation, That's because they could communicate. Okay, it might be very, very, shall we say, agricultural, industrial in terms of the language used and what have you. But by God, it was effective.
No, absolutely. And we don't have, instead, and this is for those of you saying, he's not a very nice person, he's saying all these hurtful things. This is why I haven't got time for this fucking huddle thing. I want a guy screaming instructions, and it may be agricultural, as you say. It may be a little bit Anglo-Saxon, a little bit sweary heavy, but good. Hopefully the message gets through. But I mean, what we've got is that jumped up nobody in goal who's doing all this waving and crisp packet hands and biscuit wrists and all the rest of it. It just isn't good enough, and they need to be much better than they are. I honestly mean this. I think somebody needs to put them up against the wall and fucking shout at them.
Well, I'm telling you something. I'm seeing Vicario and go, I long for the days of Aurelio Gomez.
Yeah.
Well, you looked at the goal on Saturday. The fact that he got both hands to it to push it out, should be catching it. A top quality keeper takes that.
Absolutely. And can we just address this one thing as well? Again, going back to language and the importance of words, so we don't get confused. Can we stop saying that he's a really good shot stopper? But that's his fucking job. He's there as a goalie. It's to prevent goals. I've been listening to this narrative pushed out by the little hermaphrodite fanboys of this idiot. So, he's a really good shot stopper. No, he isn't. He keeps on conceding goals.
What I thought was unfair was
it wouldn't have gone in.
What I thought was unfair was Doncaster was again a pretty hard watch, but Kinski came in and made a really good save in that game, kept a clean sheet, and didn't put a foot wrong. And we've given Vicario time and time again, and the pennies are not dropping. If anybody had this 1.2 billion to invest in players, the first thing you do is sign a goalkeeper.
Did you notice that chap?
Yeah, with
the Brooklyn area.
Just a Walter Mitty trying to increases in standing and
he's got
popularity.
the classic, all-time classic thing of on his Twitter bio, it's got I'm a big-nosed idiot.com is his website. And when you click on it, it's a 404 error.
So page not available. Yeah.
Absolute Walter Mitty.
So
sorry, you were saying.
404 error sounds. 404 error sounds like you could apply it to Richarlison. He's a walking 404 error, isn't he? Basically?
Yeah, he's a walking 404 with legs.
And the other thing is just personal preference, but I'd much rather see Danso played than Romero. I think Danso comes on, he's a wholehearted defender, doesn't do anything wrong. He's got a change of pace when it needs to get out of prison, and he does the basics very well. I'm not on the hype train with Romero. Yes, he's won a World Cup, but I don't really buy into it.
And another captain who doesn't communicate with anybody.
Yeah, exactly. And he spends too much time walking the ball around when we need some impetus. Yeah. And that really pisses me off when he gets the ball. Slows
the game down.
Absolutely.
Immediately. That derby, derby when we won a few games ago against West Ham, that was almost like walking football at times. I've never seen a London derby where the tempo was so dull.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, Romero's capable. One of the things that he does do very well is he's got a pass on him. He's got a great pass on him when he chooses to do so. So there's no denying that. But if that's all you're waiting for, then you're wasting time with him, because someone like Danso, he can tackle as well as Romero can, and probably does it more effectively in terms of not getting yellow cards all the time or being a walking red card. And he's also got a bit of pace about him. Once he gets going, he puts the ball forward most of the time.
But I think the other point about the midfield, I agree with you again, Chris, is the business of Papa offers creativity, whereas, as you say there, that quite rightly that Bentancur does not, and it appears that we're waiting with just Kudus and that, for example, that business when they did that thing, and although Bergvall had a non-existent game as well, they did that thing with the back heel and the disallowed goal. But it's Kudus who's driving all the creativity. He creates absolute mayhem. Are we really just waiting for a mid-range Maddison to come back? Are we really waiting on a very unfortunate Kulu to come back? I think this winter they've got to go out. I think they've got to go out. They've got to go out in winter and buy Adam Wharton. I'm serious.
He's not get solved. He's just another central midfielder. We need that creativity. We need that.
He has got creativity. He's
not in the wing positions.
You don't think so, no?
No. For us, we need Kudus being switched to the left halfway through that game was criminal. And you're thinking you're doing that so you can bring a lightweight, invisible Brennan Johnson on, who offered absolutely nothing. So in the middle, we've got Palhinha, we've got Bentancur, we've got Pape Matar Sarr. So bringing in Wharton in, good player, really like him, but that's not where the priority. The priority is centre forward and left-sided midfielder.
So where do we play? Where do we play Xavi Simons then?
Well, he needs to play in the number 10, doesn't he, through the middle?
Yeah.
I mean, Chris, you said earlier, we really need to stop. We need to really stop and get a grip. And I'm talking to you, Thomas Frank. We need to stop this fucking bizarre, banal, experimenting.
You need
I can't believe he's seeing anything from Tel, Odebear, and playing Simmons on the left. Stop mucking about. Get them in. You take your best players, you put them in the best positions, and you tell them to play football.
It was. When you look at that, you say that. Actually, sorry, you say that, right? But when you forgetting the injuries, because I'm not counting the injuries, because the people who are out injured, Kulu and Maddison are the only ones who could really make a difference, because they don't really care about Solanke, etc., etc. But when you look at the bench, and you could argue what we played was probably majority, apart from obviously, like we said, like Pape Sarr and possibly Porro. The bench was Danso, Gray, Johnson, Kinski, Odebear, Porro, Sarr, Scarlett, and Tel. That ain't ripping up any trees. No. That ain't ripping up any trees whatsoever.
No.
So he's and I think Chris, you said earlier we're still living through the legacy of Daniel Levy and his transfer activity. Until that bench gets stronger, what all Frank's got to work with, if you've got as a builder, if you're trying to build a shopping centre with concrete that ain't up to the fucking task, guess what's going to happen? You need proper concrete to build proper things, and we haven't got a proper.
You're trying to build a soul harvesting device, and your number two is Mrs. Daniel Levy, watching around saying that she's not quite happy with that colour of grey on the walls.
I think at this stage, Daniel would like to step into the conversation and defend himself in that respect.
He can't. He's not allowed. He's not got a mobile phone or laptop.
I was going to join in. Obviously, we're very impressed with what the work we've done, but unfortunately, I've had all my electrical devices compounded. So,
So, I said it before, and I'll say it again, as I guess nobody's heard me. But
no, we were actively choosing not to listen.
That was a bit of a rap attempt there. You didn't pick up on it, but the fact that Dane Scarlett remains on the bench again is an indictment on the club. We were doing everything we could to get rid of this lad in the summer. Nobody wanted him on loan, but correct. You are down to the bare bones in a Premiership game or a Champions League game. Are you go really throw on a kid? No fault of his own, but he's never going to make it. He's not at that level. We can see that.
I know it sounds ridiculous, and it's very much not a thing that I would normally hear myself saying, but I'd like to see a bit more of that Luca Williams Barnett or Burnett. Or
I was going to say the same. I was literally going to say the same thing.
Because he came on, he didn't do very much in that cameo he got. But tell you something, the guy is looking for the ball, he's moving into space, and he's give and go. There's a little buzz around that kid, and I'm not talking about fucking gold my beer talking about him. I'm just saying that when you see him on the park, see him on the green stuff, there's a little bit of a buzz around him, and I'd like to see him given more little cameos, little charity minutes like that to build up his confidence. And I think Spurs need to start really trying to build a bridge. Stop talking about it, do it, and build a bridge between the academy and the first team. Because we don't have the answers in the squad. We've got a load of duffers in there. Yes, Tell, I'm looking at you. You know, there are players in there who couldn't bring anything to the party, even if they had a defibrillator. They're just no good. They're of no use to anybody. That kid looks sharp. Sharp. Well, let's see if he is.
We've got, obviously, Mason Melia coming in that you did a feature on a few weeks back, H. Looks promising.
I know some of the work I've been producing recently has blown me away.
Yeah,
worth reading. Yeah. Said one regular customer would recommend.
Just the one.
But what we do leave ourselves exposed around. We're third, fourth in the Premiership. We've got Newcastle away in the League Cup. We've got the FA Cup.
Newcastle.
Odo Glint tomorrow evening in the Champions League. How can you succeed when your striking options are so bad?
No, we don't have any striking options, and this is the other thing which I'm going to be able to predict the future. It's coming to me. It's coming. That's right. Dominic Solanke's shit as well. So don't get all fucking excited because he's returning sometime. Never.
And have you
There's nothing to look forward to there. It's a barren. Honestly, our attack is like a gravestone, a tombstone that's overgrown with weeds.
And look how unsuccessful.
Here.
Look at how unsuccessful the loans of those youngsters are proving this season. You've got Donnelly, you can't get off the bench at Stoke. You've got Phillips, who's keeping him company. And then the South Korean kid, where's he on loan at Portsmouth? He's not had a single minute of play this season.
Well, I wonder why, kids. I wonder why. Is it because they were all Daniel Levy specials?
Yeah, Mikey Moore is having a disaster up at Glasgow Rangers. The only one who may say there's light at the end of the tunnel is Vuskovic, has been getting some pretty good stats over in the Bundesliga. Yeah, and Will Lancashire's scored a few away at Oxford. But that makes a mockery of if you would go leave yourself so exposed and thin in the striking areas, and you go put Scarlett on the bench. Well, why didn't you keep Lancashire and have him on the bench? Because out the two, if one had to come on, I know who I'd be picking.
No, 100%. Couldn't agree more. The lack of sparkle around any of the players that we've loaned, the majority of them have flatlined, and they're not able to impress in training. They're supposed to be from Premier League sides. I think the only exception I would say is that I don't have a personal affinity for the guy at all. I don't know him, but Mikey Moore, I think, first of all, it's Rangers, it's Scottish football. I can't really have a coherent conversation about Scottish football. It's so poor. And if you don't believe me, watch it. I'm so sick of debating with people, telling me what they think of the interior of a Ferrari, and they've never sat in one. If you think Scottish football is good, stop anything else in your brain and tell me in detail about all the games you watched this season. You couldn't pay me to watch it. And I'm earning very much money at the moment.
And there's don't worry, we're gonna GoFundMe in a minute. Honestly,
I tell you what, we're very close to GoFundMe territory. 28,000 views on a clip at the football of Spurs scoring from a corner or whatever it was that somebody sent me in. 28,000 views. I don't know what I'm going to do with the money. That was currently earned £1.37.
How's your OnlyFans site going? Is that generating much traffic?
Well, to be honest with you, I did an offer where you got a free pair of a free telescope with every subscription, but nobody's taking me up on it. I don't understand it really.
The problem is with those sorts of telescopes, Edge, they're the sort of telescopes you find in dubious magazines.
Sort of telescope that leaves a black mark round your eye. That's about the best part. Yeah.
You got confused with telescope, though, mate. You got confused with telescope. It was a flashlight.
Actually, it was an endoscope. That was what it was. Never mind.
But free colonoscopies with every.
But seriously, 28 fucking thousand views, and it's £1.37 or £6.67 it's earned. And the good news that some of us have been pointing east and genuflecting. Reach PLC, so that's Football London, Gold My Beer, the Daily Express, and of course the Mirror, that bastion of footballing excellence. They have recently laid off about 400 fucking writers. So there you go. There's my life, from my home to yours. There's my fucking life at the moment. So it's every man for himself.
And just carrying on from the previous argument, notwithstanding the importance of what you mentioned, and every person deserves to have a crust of bread, etc., etc.
You can't begrudge a man a meal. That's I live my life by that.
Absolutely. Or in Chris's case, you can't begrudge a man a 16-course meal because how the other half,
Bring the rest of the bill over, Stavros.
Those cows in the background, they go in free. But this facile argument, and I cannot, again, like you, I don't want to have to explain it. People go, oh well, Rangers and Celtic, if we put them in the Premier League or the Championship, they do really well, would they?
Yeah, do really well at getting relegated.
Yeah. What a load of bollocks that is. That is absolute nonsense.
But don't forget as well that the double whammy, the worst of it all, is that the coach at Rangers is the nitwit that was at Southampton and failed there, Russell Martin or whatever his name is. He was the guy that was praising Postecoglou.
Yep, that worked really well, didn't it?
Talk about the blind leading the blind.
I tell you what, Postecoglou in charge of Celtic in the Premiership would have been outstanding.
I think outstanding is an underused word unless your name is Ange. Fat fuck.
So
he said his kindly voice.
Take me back to the fact that I know that you'd been quite complimentary about Spence in the early games of this season. What's your thoughts based on the last few performances?
I think it's gone to his head, and I think the social media stuff you highlighted earlier is something that I don't like. I don't want to. Like it's like the owners of a football club. I quite like the Lewis family because they're not fucking saying anything. That's how I like my owners. I don't want to know about their day-to-day bits and pieces. I don't want to be able to do an impression of them. As poor as my impressions are, I don't want to do an impression. I don't want to have that closeness, that proximity of emotional, connection. But Spence, I don't really know him. I wish him well. I was a big champion of him coming in. I thought he was better than perhaps he'd been portrayed. But he appears to have let it go to his head. He appears to have gone off the boil. And I'm going to say it again because this is the stick with which you beat professional footballers. His passing accuracy is in the toilet bowl. You know, you can't get a worse comment than that. He doesn't pass very well to players on his own side.
Mm-hmm.
This goes beyond defense splitting passes, masterful this, that, and the other, bicycle clicks. He is incapable of moving the ball from his feet to the feet of another Tottenham player. It isn't good enough. And if you're thinking about using your Instagram account, don't bother, because we want to actually see you pass the ball accurately on the pitch.
I think this could be a good time to perhaps give Spence a dose of reality and basically relegate him to the substitutes bench again, and say, look, pal, you haven't arrived yet. You might have had a good few months, but you ain't arrived yet. You ain't the finished deal. Let's get you back in there and stop fucking around.
Perhaps Neil Warnock wasn't wrong after all, was he?
Well, I think Warnock is a hoary old bastard, and I do like him, and I think he understands football. But I think that what he said can be accurate on occasion, and I think Jed did appear to buckle down when he first came to us. I think he was determined to shake off the business when he was under Conte, and I think he succeeded. But now it's going the other way, and I don't like it. I'm not interested in all this shite, you know?
Gets an England call up, and all of a sudden he's the dog's fucking bollocks, isn't he? Which, I'm sorry, mate, that doesn't mean anything. That means nothing. There's lots of players who have been called up for England and have not made a success of their career at the end of the day. If you keep going that way, mate, you'll be one of them.
And absolutely. And speaking of Eric Dyer, but this is what who has to be said is more of a tech entrepreneur than Brooklyn Earlicker or whatever his name is. But no, it's just nuts. It's just nuts.
One of them's astronaut, the other isn't. I'll let you make up your decision on that one.
Yeah, exactly. One of them has been to the moon, and the other one has watched the Jetsons on TV. We'll let you know at the end of the show.
Right, so here we go then. So and I've said this consistently. Well, I've said consistently, but certainly over the last 3 or 4 weeks.
All right,
so
I'm saying it now.
I'm saying it again. I'm saying it again. I don't give a shit, but I'm gonna die on that hill. But I think we should be signing Palhinha permanently in
every day of the week. Yeah.
Dear me, dear oh dear.
I know H is of a different persuasion to me and you, Chris, but again, we're sensible people. So.
Is this because he took his shirt off and you saw how ripped his belly button was? I mean,
I'll tell you what, mate, he was so ripped, even the missus got an erection. So
it was the after-game press conference where he actually spoke like a leader, and I was asking,
I missed that. I was too busy speaking.
Captain, where he's there saying, disgusting. We should have won that game. We didn't. We shouldn't be happy about that. That sort of performance was that's all the stuff that you expect Romero to say, but he didn't. Palhinha's no
Romero can't speak English, you massive far-right extremist.
Yeah.
Racist.
Racist pig.
Yeah. And
get him off this channel immediately. The two amigos. How dare you, sir?
Palhinha's featuring the artist formerly known as Chris B.
Yeah. Palhinha's chipped in with 3 goals this season. How many's Richarlison got? 3?
Oh, I think scoring goals is overrated. Look, he's in his 50s. He's in his 50s.
Especially for strikers. It's overrated for strikers, isn't it, H? You know,
it fucking is at Spurs. He's in his 50s. His grandchildren think he's a hero. That I don't buy into any of this.
I'm sorry. I'm going to die on that hill. That guy, we need to sign him. It's that simple. 100%,
yeah.
No, I think it's a good idea. I was unaware of his comments because my mother thinks I work in a bank. But no, I think that if he's talking the talk and he's walking the walk, what's not to like? But I just rather it's almost like focus on the day job. I'm grateful we've got him. He's definitely contributing tons. But I just like some of the others to join in. There are routinely every single Spurs game, we've got players that are on the missing, and it just needs to stop. I've said that about 6 times in the show. It needs to stop.
Well, H, when you look at that starting lineup, if you look at what it was, you've got Vicario, who our how Thornton is well documented. Spence, we've just sort of talked about, is that all blood and ting, and thinks he's a gangster and arrived and what have you. Romero, we just like Van der Ven, obviously, in all that sort of thing. Van der Ven, quality, absolute quality, and just gets on with it. Doesn't big himself up. Doesn't get.
No, Van der Ven is the Rock. He's the Rock.
Yeah. Don't let Dwayne Johnson hear you say that.
Yeah. So you got Udogie, who I think he's coming back into a bit of form now. He's starting to get better. He's obviously after being out injured.
Is looking. I have to say, Udogie probably getting used to his weight having increased because of his muscle mass.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
He's looking like a bad character. And then he said a rude word. But yeah, he's looking like a bad mofo.
We're about four. When you look at the players, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 players who we turf out without even thinking about it. And if you've got 5 players that you're willing to do that to, that doesn't bode well for how the other 6 are able to play. Because if they're intelligent like we know they are, the Simmons and Kudos and Palhinha and Udogie and Van der Ven, if you're surrounded by idiots, you're going to get nothing done.
What else I find not amazing, but against Doncaster midweek, Archie Gray was probably our best player during that 90 minutes.
He was very good.
If you've got a team that's not won all season, languishing bottom of the league, what better opportunity was there to put Gray in alongside Palhinha, because he had energy and he was running into the channels and there was something about him. And I don't know, it's just we've not got a lot of dynamism in that squad, and we seem to be struggling. He doesn't know what his best 11 is. That's clere, isn't it?
Well, I don't know if he got
a best 11 though. That's the problem.
I don't think he has a best 11. Or rather, speaking more as a whole, as a sort of ecumenical best 11. I don't think the one exists, and I think he's experimenting, and that's got to fucking end, because we can't have Xavi Simons failing to make an impact in a league game. And I made this point, I can't remember which thing it was on the other day. Tottenham do this every bloody season. We drop points at the beginning of the season, and while the rest of the herd are grazing in the fields, going, oh yeah, this grass is all right, lads, what are we going to be doing at the end of the season when these drop points suddenly count? Oh, well, we'll just wait for Liverpool to go have a run of bad form. Or we'll just have to, hope somebody really sparks into life. You need to get the work done at the beginning.
So we find that
not hope that you struggle through, hope that you can achieve an extra 2 points to qualify for Europe in 8 months' time.
I'll tell you one thing for certain: the next big Premiership club that discharges of a coach, they'll be knocking on the door of Oliver Glasner at Palace with 12 months left on his contract.
Yeah.
You think Chelsea have had lost 3 on the bounce? Bayern Munich, Man United and Brighton at the weekend. If they got rid of that Enzo Maresca character, if you imagine him going in there with the money they could throw his way, undoubtedly a great, great, great coach who I would rather have had than Thomas Frank.
You can't say that.
I can.
He just did. I think it was a toss-up. I think it's a toss. Actually, to be fair, I think Frank and Glasner are just they're in that category. I mean, okay, Glasner is probably better because he's actually got the trophies to prove it. So you could argue that, but I still think Frank's a good choice, and I have faith in him, and I'm sure he will absolutely get it right.
I'm just saying, had I had the option.
I don't know why you harbour grudges so viciously and vehemently.
Glasner,
Palace
tore Liverpool to pieces on Saturday. They absolutely murdered.
Yeah.
What a grubby little creature you are. We go flat and you turn on the gaffer. Call yourself a fan?
This is like trying to have a debate about the Middle East and being labelled anti-Semitic as you put some facts forward.
There we go.
I think you're right. And I think the Thomas Frank out campaign needs to start somewhere, and we're planting that flag on the top.
I'll be the first one to say Thomas Frank out.
Thomas Frank out, you slags.
How about Ryan?
Get out my club, you Norwegian slag.
Or even Danish.
He's Danish.
Danish. Yeah, two different countries.
If he can't even fill his passport application out properly, where are we?
But some alliteration would have been good. They use Scandinavian slag. That would have been good. You covered all bases then.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, fuck off, you tarts.
I was in Norway last week. Very nice place.
I'm surprised you know where you are today.
Well,
Tuesday, I must be back at the prefect.
Aren't they one of those countries like Finland are like at the top of the happiness index and all that sort of thing for countries where to live, that sort of thing?
Very happy, friendly people. Yeah.
I thought the suicide rate was high there. No,
that's Sweden.
Yeah,
Sweden is high.
Sweden.
Yeah, Sweden.
Chicken.
It's his birdie cheeky boo.
Birdie.
And that segues nicely into the fact that we are indeed in Norway tomorrow evening, aren't we? Playing our Champions League.
We are indeed. Well, look at that. You don't get that sort of level of professionalism everywhere, do you?
Nice motor segue.
I steered you into that. Did you like that?
Oh dear. Well, honestly, you just don't get this level of professionalism anywhere else, do you? There's no
exactly. This is why they're literally queuing round the block for this show. That's what they're doing.
They're literally queuing around the block to do something else.
They're figuratively queuing around the block. That's what they're out there in their number. They're in their number in legion.
Yeah, they're allegedly queuing around the block.
So, I mean, where do we go from here? I mean, I have to say, although I do think of this several times a day, naturally anyway, but it's like Mrs. Slocum's pussy. When she was pregnant, she said that, that she was looking for the right homes to give these kittens to, and that she had to vet the people thoroughly to make sure. I mean, what's our vetting process like, or would it be like Miss Slocum, who then announced that if she couldn't home all of them, then the ones that were left would be drowned in a bucket? I mean, there's reports coming out that Venkatacham, our man Vinay, has reached out personally to Don Fabio Let Me Cook on a Radiator Paratici. And I'm just wondering, what are the panel's thoughts on this Italian master chef returning to the studios at Wood Lane?
I would be much happier if we went and got Monchi, the Spaniard who left Aston Villa last week. I think he's a higher caliber. And Paratici, he brought in a few players, but he also brought a lot of shit in, didn't he?
He brought some absolute shit in, and for every Kulusevski, there was an Emerson Royale, shall we say?
Or who was that fine German player that we enjoyed so much? We bought him twice.
Yeah.
Achtung, baby.
Achtung, baby. Turn the lights up bright. I want to meet you at a gay bar. You know, no thanks. But yeah, it's. I mean, I think we need to see. I mean, I'm quietly excited to the point of being not excited at all by the fact that if the Levy, God help me, the Lewis family and the executives that we have in, and talk about the assassin. I mean, I saw Peter Charrington for some photos of him recently. My God, he looks like something out of a Bond film.
If one
of these guys who's part robot.
If you're ever bored, Google Peter Charrington's son.
What is he? A transvestite or something?
Got it in one. Yeah.
No. Oh dear God. Wow. Well, that puts him in the same boat as it's a massive thing in the States. They had a list in the paper the other day of all these sort of household name sort of celebs and actors and blah blah, and they've all got trans kids. Talk about the luxury belief club. I mean, just extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary.
And just so that you think I'm not leading you up the garden path, if you've
got a photograph of his penis, you're now going to send to our WhatsApp group.
Yeah, which he has personally obtained.
If you check our WhatsApp group now, there is the proof.
I'm too scared, Ted. I'm too scared.
There you go. That's the sort of photo that you display.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, my fuck off your joking filter has just kicked in.
19-year-old cross-dressing son. Are you
Oh God, I remember seeing this. Seeing this. Yeah, honestly, because they had to pay off some people, didn't they, because of all his groping and God knows what, didn't they? At some swanky party. That's
Actually,
right,
next time I get done for groping, which is probably going to be tomorrow or the day after, I'm going to say that I was actually identifying as a CEO's son because it appears to work. Fucking hell. That's lovely, isn't it?
But if you read the statement he put out in the program the other day, it was just basically about as empty a statement you could possibly. How to say in 1,000 words absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Well, what it was, in fact, there's a small alarm bell ringing here, or rather a flag being raised. Charrington made a point of his thing that he put out on the official site was it was packed full of keywords, as you put in the SEO world. And he managed to even shove in, because I immediately felt somebody crawl across my grave, diversity.
There you go.
And what a surprise! He's got a son who takes it up the wrong end. I mean, it's just. I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked by anything anymore. I mean, I said as a throwaway joke, I don't know, is he a transvestite? Bang! Correct. You've won the major star prize. You know, the world has lost its mind. So congratulations, everybody. You win, I lose. Toodle pip. And I've found out I shared my birthday with Matt Hayes this week.
And remember,
can't get any fucking worse, can it?
H's gay transvestite radar is on full tilt right now.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, it can see through walls. If you've got your tackle shoved up your so your thong fits all right, I'll be aware of it.
And your name's Richarlison.
Denizens of Birmingham, take note. Denizens of Birmingham, take note.
Yeah, especially the benders, because my bender alarm keeps on going off, and it must be you that's setting it.
Remember, if you haven't got a Willie, your name's not Billy.
God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
Adam and Steve, yeah. Anyway, moving away from the diversity.
Exactly. And if you felt excluded by those remarks, Chris's home address is right.
Let's very quickly though. Going back to that statement, and then going back to the way
burn him.
And, burn him. I don't think women here. So.
Stone him. But it's the hour mark. Any more for any more?
Yeah, one very quickly. But what the thing, the post you said the other day about how Daniel Levy was unceremoniously and quite rightly escorted from the club after the investigations.
Yes.
Now I love that.
I would have.
I love that. Yeah, exactly. I love that for the fact that that's how ruthless business is. I'm only hoping they bring that level of ruthlessness to the football club.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't agree more. They're prepared to virtually strip a man naked, figuratively speaking, Chris.
He's off now, isn't he?
Oh
my word.
Nobody wants to see that.
That's
isn't that amazing what steroids do, isn't it? It's brilliant, isn't it?
Only there's no proof to substantiate that allegation and rumour.
All those empty capsules in your bathroom waste.
Yeah. You do get careless with the odd needle being hanging around, mate. Come on, let's be
careless with his whisper. I know that much.
Yeah. He's back on his gator again. Oh dear,
So, drawing out of some of the past comments and feedback from the last show, what are your thoughts on Penny for the Guy?
Penny for the Guy. I think I endorse the message. Absolutely. It's very much one of this government's key policies that every guy should at least be given a penny or have the right to earn a penny. And I'm not against that tradition.
Or we have a penny for Rachel instead.
Penny for account.
Yeah.
Penny for accounting. Penny for Rachel for accounts.
Penny for Rachel in accounts because she's a couple of quid shy this week.
Or is it a penny for Rachel in customer service who's never done accounts?
I think it's really important that we have Penny for the guy, especially on in sort of what's the word I'm looking for? How can I phrase this delicately? That's right, Muslim communities where they wouldn't welcome that sort of thing and would know what it was. But they certainly know a good explosion when they see one. But yeah, I definitely endorse Penny for the guy. What's that ticking noise? But yeah, all good.
That's my redundant vest on the background.
I was just about to say. I'm sure the best was going to be making an appearance into the conversation at some stage.
Well, he was going to be wearing a suicide vest, but he opted instead to transition himself into a little Miss Impotent.
Yeah. as the saying goes, silence! I kill you.
Little Miss Suicide hoodie.
I'm sure one's available.
Madeline, get back in the cupboard. I'm not telling you again.
So, thoughts and feelings about our trip to Norway tomorrow night? Then we can't sign off without talking about the main event.
Absolutely. Any predictions, Chris?
I think we will beat them 3-1.
Wow, I'm
going
to say
that 3 goals are going to come from, but I think
I was going to say we just spent the last hour bemoaning the fact that we couldn't score in a Chinese pocket full of rice, but then you're saying we're going to suddenly flood four game thriller. I think we're going to win by a single goal.
Yeah, I'm thinking that as well. That was my thoughts. I think probably 2-1 because I think we're unfortunate at the moment. We're still quite likely to concede at the moment, although I know we did a better job against them in the semi-final, but that they will have learnt a lot from that, and they will use that. And I'm just hoping that Thomas Frank has seen that and will actually learn from that too, so that he doesn't. Because that night, the Bodo just didn't turn up, to be fair. But we didn't allow them to turn up, is also the fact. But they will probably be wanting to be more at it and get some measure of revenge. So we've got to be careful.
Yeah, that was a phrase a former girlfriend of mine used, that I wanted to be more at it and get revenge. But I agree with you. I agree with you entirely.
Is that the one the table collapsed on?
Sorry, Mike's gone. What was that?
The collapsing table.
What was Mike doing in the room?
Yeah.
No comment. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute distinct pleasure. I'm sorry if all of you weren't offended. We can only get round to you one by one. Madeline, no.
Are you with Kate and Jerry again?
No, I'm going around there later to pick up the cash. Got to GoFundMe working. Well, this isn't fucking paying, is it? Right. Thank you very much, ladies. Poor old Tony. Poor old Tony.
You're a sick cunt. You really are.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. That's the end of the show. And can I just, again, I should have done it at the very beginning because nobody listens to this bit. Subscribe. Stop hesitating. Don't delay. Subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. It helps the algorithm. Thank you very much indeed. Good evening.